Welcome, everybody, to the Loud and Drunk podcast. This is Dan, your host, your guide, your producer. Call me whatever you like, but if you do call me, I need recommendations for lawnmowers because they keep breaking on me. Joined again by Moses. Moses, thank you for coming into this podcast. There's a strike going on, so does your union rep know you've been working this whole time?
I wouldn't call it working because I enjoy what I do.
Oh, well,
Wow.
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I feel offended.
We also have Justin. Justin, sir?
Hey, I'm here.
We have a little bit of a reaction to have. We're going to go through some reactions here because we're going to react to Ron Perlman and we're going to react to Fran Drescher in terms of this Screen Actors Guild writer strike. So what are you looking forward to most in reacting to what these people had to say?
Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't know they were still alive, both of them. So this is new to me. Yeah, this stuff, when it comes to, big unions going on strike, because that happens every year with the Writers Guild and obviously the Screen Actors Guild and whatever the hell's wrapped into their little package. It's just so funny because you see like the Hollywood elites are the ones that are always talking, and I'm sure it's just pure gold. So I can't wait to get into it.
I'm curious about I just thought this was them announcing they're going to do a reenactment of Officer and Gentleman with Fran Drescher and Ron Perlman.
Well, you only felt that because you're an idiot. Anyways, I am Rockefeller White. Very happy to be here. Actor, entrepreneur, and mogul.
Wow.
I'm very excited.
Oh, well, we know you.
Very excited for this conversation.
Oh, yeah, it's great to finally not have somebody from the San Francisco Giants on the podcast, especially when
I
it's
don't even know
inappropriate.
why you brought them on. All of those people are pieces of shit.
Jimmy
I'm not a
Davenport was
fan.
all right.
Was he? Was he?
No, he wasn't.
My problem
It's actually the
with
worst.
with Jimmy Davenport is that he's not an everyman. And
Blackie
that's
was.
really Blackie was a bit of an everyman. I'll take that. He was solid. But yeah, no, the rest of it, honestly, this isn't a sports podcast.
I thought that was all a fever dream, so I'm really worried now.
Yeah. Honestly, it might have been. We might have been sharing a dream somehow, despite that we are strangers and have only met today.
Inception.
Who's
the architect?
that was a movie that I enjoyed.
Who's the architect?
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Rockefeller White.
Rockefeller White.
Well,
I
we
will
know
absolutely
you
not
from?
remember that, but I will try.
It's a solid name, though, thanks to my parents. No.
But before we get going, I want to encourage you to support our sponsor. Summer's here and the time is right for stopping by TrueJersey.com. From t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, True Jersey will show off your local pride like no other. And now, Loud and Drunk listeners can save 10% off their first order. Just go to TrueJersey.com and enter the code LOUD at the checkout to save 10%. Thank you to True Jersey for sponsoring the program. True Jersey, stay true.
I'm too wealthy to ever go to a small business website, but I do encourage other people to do that. If you're poor enough to enjoy those products, then by all means. That sounds very nice. That's a New Jersey company?
Yes, it's a New Jersey company.
That sounds lovely.
Yes,
Very nice.
and you should support it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm too wealthy.
Because when you support our sponsor, you support the podcast.
Well, I'm already here.
You're not supporting the podcast just by being on it.
My presence is
We
your
need your
presence.
money. You have a lot of it. Give us your money.
Do you have the
I'm doing what I
receipt?
can, Dan. Doing what I can.
You have the receipt to this present? Because I'd like to take it back.
Speaking
You're
of
going to be taking it back later.
Speaking of doing what you can subscribe to this podcast. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube and Rumble, so be sure to smash that like button, leave us a comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channels. We want you to join in on a conversation, so hit us up on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you are helping us out by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple and on Facebook. If you like this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter. You can find us on Locals at loudanddrunk.locals.com and on Patreon at patreon.com/loudanddrunk. Well, gentlemen, as I alluded to, we're going to react. This is our first segment. We're
So
going
excited.
to react to the SAG AFTRA?
AFTRA. What is that? I don't know what that is.
I don't know. When you get these unions, they all become like affiliated unions and stuff like that. So it's all.
I feel like you make enough money and you just start making acronyms for things because you just don't know what else to do with your time.
Like the government.
The government does backronyms where they call it like hope, and then they reverse
And then they fill it in.
each one of the letters and shit like that, you know?
Sir, that sentence doesn't make sense in any way.
Yeah, and they never like own up to that it's a backronym, which I feel is very condescending to the populace, but because they don't live amongst us, they don't really get that.
All right, so this is the Screen Actors Guild and whatever AFTRA stands for.
Yeah, the president, Fran Drescher, better known as the nanny.
Yes.
So
How did she get this job?
she wasn't a good actress, so maybe that's how.
Oh, damn.
It's not fair. It's not fair, Dan.
All right, let's buckle in, gentlemen,
Oh,
and
boy.
hear what the nanny has to say about the strike.
Thank you, Duncan, and thank
You're
you,
welcome.
everybody.
His name
for
is
coming
Duncan.
To this press conference today, it's really important.
She sounds
that
sedated.
This negotiation be covered.
I was.
We're gonna need
because
to be
the eyes
sedated
of the
Yeah.
after listening to her for 6
particularly
minutes.
the eyes
This is
of
not the nanny I
labor
remember.
Are upon us. What happens here is important because what's happening to us is happening across all fields of labor.
Yeah, it's labor to play pretend and dress up.
Right, yeah.
Employers make
I mean, I do it every day.
Wall Street.
It's exhausting.
Oh, gosh, she's talking so slow.
Yeah. Now we know why this is 6 minutes.
About the essential contributors that make.
Who's this goon standing behind her?
I was going to say,
I thought that was Michael Moore.
yeah, Michael
He's a
Moore.
little too thin to be Michael Moore.
And we are.
I like that John
He's like a
Leguizamo's
goon.
still getting worked out
Right at this moment. This
as
is
the
a very
hand gesture
seminal
coordinator.
Hour for us. I went in earnest.
The hand
I
gesture
went
coordinator.
in
that
earnest.
we would be able to avert the strike. The gravity of this move is not lost on me or our negotiating committee or our
I still don't know what this is all
who
about.
have voted
Yeah.
unanimously
They want more money.
to proceed
Oh, no, I mean,
with
yeah,
the
I figured
strike.
that much, but
It's a very serious thing that impacts thousands, if not millions of people all
It's
across
thousands.
this country
It's
and around the
thousands.
world.
It's not millions.
Not only members of this union, but people who work
Won't
in
someone
other
please think of the
industries
millions of
that
American
service people
actors?
that work in this industry.
More than 5% of
And
American
so
workers are
it
actually
came with
Hollywood actors.
great
That's a
yeah,
fact.
right.
Yeah.
that we came to this crossroads, but we had no choice. We are the victims here.
oh boy.
We are being victimized
Yeah.
by a very greedy entity.
Yeah.
I
Why
am
would Putin do this?
shocked by the way the people that we have been in business with are treating us. I cannot.
I feel like the
believe it.
goon's like about to
Quite
fall
frankly,
over asleep.
Yeah.
How far apart we
You notice
are
how like
from
what I
one.
love about him, and I have
How
no idea who this
they
person is if he's
feel
not Michael Moore,
that they're
but
losing
presuming
money
that he
left and
isn't,
right when giving
he's like a
hundreds of
I don't know, like a cross
millions of
between like a penis
to
and a
their
pencil.
Yeah.
CEOs.
There's no actual
is
differentiation between the head,
Shame
the
on
neck,
them.
and then like
They
the shoulders
stand on
come
the
out.
wrong
So I
side
know
of
that he's some
history
sort of
at
like
this very moment.
like maybe he's an anthropod. I don't know how it works.
We
I don't know
stand
enough
in
about biology
solidarity.
or botany. What are we talking about here?
He looks like he's
Unprecedented
his name is Chet Williams.
Our
Yeah, yeah?
unions
Yeah,
and
that's
our
what he's. Those are the vibes I'm getting from
and
him.
the unions around the world are standing by us.
Honestly, like you see what he's doing with his
As
hands. Like
well
I would
as
feel that
other
awkward too,
laborers.
because you have no reason to be there. So you're just trying to like.
Because at
Yeah, is
some
he like a
point,
bodyguard
the jig is
for her,
up.
or
You
I'm
cannot
guessing that he
keep
represents writers.
being dwindled and marginalized.
so he has to write
and
everything out? He can't actually say it.
disrespected and dishonored.
I want to say this: like she is
The
practically
entire
in
business
tears.
model has
And that's
been
incredible.
changed
Acting.
by streaming, digital.
Digital.
That was a weird way to say that.
This is a moment of history.
English
And it's a
isn't her
moment
first
of
language.
truth.
I think it is.
It's
she's
well, it's
Jewish
Nag.
from New York.
Don't
So.
stand tall
Nag is her
right
first
now.
language.
Listen, I like the nanny, so I will not hear you sully it.
Honestly, it should be Niles behind her.
Oh, that would have been way better.
Who
Yeah.
cares more about Wall Street than you and your family?
Of course they do.
My family
This is
cares.
America. Everyone cares more about Wall Street.
$500 in an emergency. This is a very big deal, and it weighed heavy on us.
Oh, she's gonna cry.
Oh,
But at
good
some
Lord.
point,
You're supposed to
you
be the
have
president of
say
this
no.
union.
We're not going to take this anymore. You people are crazy.
Where's Dee Snyder?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I was just about to say
Why
that.
are you doing this? Privately, they all say we're the center of the wheel. Everybody else tinkers around our artistry. But actions speak louder than
Artistry.
words.
Okay, I got it. It took me a
And
second
there
for that
was
one.
nothing there.
It's been a while since I've been to Long Island.
Yeah.
So we came together in strength and solidarity and unity with the largest.
She's really doing the hand
strike
gap.
force
Yeah,
well, that's the Long
in
Island
our
talking,
union's
yeah.
history.
That makes it important.
It does.
And we made the hard decision that we tell you as we stand before you today. This is major. It's really serious.
Yeah.
And it's going to
Keeps
impact
telling me that
every
it's very
single
serious.
Yeah,
You
but you're
guys
not
don't
She
telling
wants me to believe that, and I just don't care.
I'm not getting what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't want to act anymore, I guess.
Right now that
Good.
happens to be
They
labor
haven't.
friendly. And yet, we were facing opposition that was so labor unfriendly, so
Oh, she does that.
tone deaf
Yeah.
The
to what we
hurrah
were saying.
kind of head motion
Yeah.
thing.
cannot change the business model.
Somebody's watched
as
a bunch of
much
Hitler.
as it has
Yeah,
changed.
absolutely, yeah.
And not
Goebbels would be
expect the
proud.
contract to change too. We're not going to keep doing incremental changes on a contract that no longer honors what is happening right now with this business model that was foisted upon us.
Foisted?
Foisted. Oh my God! I always use that word just to be obnoxious to you, Moses, because you hate when I say it wrong.
Crazy.
That's so funny. She just did it.
Yeah, I just don't know what you're. I don't listen to you.
Yeah, it's fair.
We stand tall. You have to wake up and smell the coffee.
Oh, I could go for some coffee.
The coffin? Oh, shit.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, coffin. I think that these directors are murdering actors.
You share the wealth because you cannot exist without us.
What?
Thank you.
I mean, that is true. You do need actors.
I do a lot of Fran Drescher in my day-to-day life.
Does this guy talk too? Or no, he just claps?
No,
All right.
it's over.
Thank God.
Well,
All right, so, all right, gentlemen, before we get into the topic at hand, let's hear from Ron Perlman.
Oh, this should
he
be-
had he had a little bit of a I guess this was on Instagram, a little bit of a, well, we'll let him say it.
Yeah.
no.
Before I get off this, the
Yep.
motherfucker
Oh,
Wow.
who said we're gonna keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, motherfucker.
Wow.
There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the fuck said that. And we know who said that. And where he fucking lives.
Wow.
who said
There's
it?
a lot of ways to lose
I
your
don't know.
house.
Some guy.
I
How would
think,
we know? We're not
the-
familiar with
the guy from
producers.
Disney, Iger or whatever. his name.
Bob
yeah,
Iger.
the CEO, yeah.
$27 fucking million a year for creating nothing.
Easy, Hellboy.
That's the hint.
Be careful.
The $27 million
Yeah.
a year.
Be really careful. Because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up. Peace out.
Peace out.
out.
Peace out, Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
My boy.
Wow.
You can't be any geek off the street if you know what I mean.
You got to be handy with the steel, if you know what I'm saying.
You got to earn your keep.
Thanks, Hellboy. Yeah. So I guess he still thinks he's in Sons of Anarchy, and also that he's the character from Sons of Anarchy, because he is talking a lot of shit, guys.
Yeah.
Reactions to what
It
you
look,
just
first
heard.
of all, it looks like he's had a stroke.
His nostrils are obnoxiously big.
Yeah, I've known him to like do shit like this. He likes to go on, social media and talk big and shit. Like he's whatever his character was from like Sons of Anarchy. Like he's a real fucking threat instead of just
He's just a millionaire
fathead
actor. Yeah.
Q-tip.
Yeah. Yeah, his hair is 100% white. His Salt and Pepper looks good, but he looks like, you remember the movie Powder from the 90s?
Yes, I do. Very much remember
Where he was just
Powder.
like pure, like I
Yes.
think he was like a perfect albino, whatever that means. Yeah. He's cultivating that. And
I
it's-
thought Powder was bald.
Well, Powder was bald, but yes.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
But is he trying to incite people to go to Bob Iger's house and like burn it down or something?
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean,
I'm
the way that he
convinced.
worded it makes it sound like he was going to go and do
There's many ways that you can lose your house.
Yeah.
Financial, karma.
Hallucinogens. I just don't know where it is anymore.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I don't know. My general sentiment about this is that, like, on the one hand, I guess the big picture here is that they're saying that, like, the brass at the top, the CEO and whatnot is overpaid. I think I heard $27 million Bob Iger gets paid for running Disney.
Oh, I have no idea, but that sounds about
These
right.
people at the top of the food chain, they get paid by the shareholders, and it's fucked up, in my opinion, because I don't think there's any amount of work that you could do. Like, you could be the best at anything. You could work really hard. You could be putting in 100 hours a week, so on and so forth.
Well, if you try to put that on a scale, like on a slider with effort, it's bananas.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Like,
nobody should be adding. So fuck the CEOs that they're saying fuck you to. Fuck those people. They're pieces of shit. But at the same time, like, to sit here and to be like you're victimized when you're still getting $10-20 million a year, for acting in whatever the fuck you're acting in. And even if you're a low-level actor, not like an extra or some shit like that, but like these people who are making these videos that we're watching, the people who are seeing, these people get millions of dollars a year, and they lose a lot of it to the agent, to the manager, what the fuck ever. But you're not a victim of anything. You're a beneficiary of the system that we live in. The victims of this society that we live in are people who fucking like sweep the floors and get minimum wage. So the idea that you're going to get up here and fucking cry your fucking sob story is kind of ridiculous, because the CEO of the goddamn janitorial company that runs, that like fucking is working all over the country is also getting paid millions and millions of dollars, and that's deeply unfair. So I don't know. I don't empathize.
Well,
with
it's like I don't really feel like fucking bad about any of it. It's like you're embedded in the industry. This is not like a just surprise.
Yeah.
Like bad business practices.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, and it's been whatever. And it's like, to me, because you see the faces of obviously the actors that you knew at one point 20 years ago, and somehow the president of SAG-AFTRA. But,
when the work runs dry.
Honestly, I thought that was just like a deleted scene from Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, obviously I don't know what like their like union contract is. I mean, I don't even read mine.
They want like they want more of a share of the, because I think part of it is
because they're getting 3-cent residuals.
Yeah,
it's like
something
that's been business as known for forever.
Yeah, are you getting a fair share? I mean, the bottom line is like nobody's getting a fair share. So I mean, it's in my opinion, it's right to be upset with how we're distributing the money in this country and probably around the world. It should be shared more with the people who are actually doing the work.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of corporations that even put forth an effort to do that. But the people that should, I'll put it this way, if I was getting millions of dollars a year, maybe it's not fair. Maybe I'm doing most of the work and somebody else is getting more millions than me and they're not doing any work.
The world's not fair. It's never
Exactly.
fair.
Exactly. But that's just it. Like, I'm not going to fucking get up off of my $10 million sofa to go and bitch to people about how I'm a victim, because it's kind of condescending.
That is why.
And that's what it is.
That is why I don't take my shoes off when I sit on your couch.
Well, then that's true. I just buy a new sofa every single time that you leave, because I myself, Rockefeller White, I am a billionaire.
I think the third time that I came by to your place, that was a nice couch, but
that was nice.
It was a nice one.
Yeah. The new one's much more expensive.
In all honesty, I'm more worried about the UPS Teamsters strike than I am this.
I found out about that the other day.
Yeah.
I keep getting emails about
That could potentially happen. I think August 1st.
Well, because that's actually a real job.
Yeah.
Well, it actually impacts people. Like, they have been striking since, what is it, April, May?
I believe so.
They haven't done...
Well, at least I know the Writers Guild.
The Writers
started. And
Dan,
then
I want to jump in right there. I'm going to disagree with you, because without actors and without them producing their art, then what motivation would our local UPS drivers have to get out of bed in the morning?
Yeah.
We might be looking at a full-on mass suicide of people. And then how are you getting your packages?
I mean,
really, at the root of this, you've got actors, and that's why they're paid so much, because they're doing the real heavy lifting of society. You guys have got jobs, and that's lovely for you. I don't know what that's like, but some people are really doing the things necessary so that you have a reason to live, because you want to be like them and live through them, and that's beautiful. So if they're not able to get that extra $5 million a year that they've earned, then, I mean, honestly, why are any of us here?
Listen, Rockefeller, I stopped paying attention to you 15 seconds ago.
It's okay. I don't need anyone to listen. I listen to
Dan,
myself.
am I wrong? It wasn't Bob Iger. Did he just got rehired?
He got rehired because they got rid of Chapek because everything was going down the tubes with Disney.
Right.
Because they decided instead of making movies that everyone could enjoy, let's make the wokest piece of crap we can possibly make.
Oh, cue that scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
Oh, no. PTSD. Fuck you. I don't want to hear about it.
Well, we don't have the rights.
So we did confirm that it is Bob Iger that makes $27 million, but that's
Gotcha.
through incentive. So
Right.
his base salary is about $1 million. I guess he gets $1 million more, depending on his other
He probably
factors.
gets stuff to go to RSUs or something.
Yeah.
And I will chime in on that because I've read about that, and I don't want it to sound like I agree with it, but the reasoning makes sense behind it. The insane amounts that CEOs are paid, and this is a reflection on, in my opinion, this is a reflection on the society and the way that we run our economic system. But it's that if you pay this motherfucker $30 million a year, and he makes you $1 billion to the shareholders.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it's justified. That's the way in which that breaks down. And I don't agree with it because I honestly, I hate to be pro-tax or something, but you shouldn't make $30 million a year when there's so many massive problems in society related to inequality and shit like that. You're perfectly well off with $10 million a year. You can go and piss in, fucking golden pots
Money
if you want
becomes,
to.
and there's actually a level that they said where it just becomes abstract.
Yeah.
And it's
You don't recognize it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I find that to be relatable for any one of us. If you're fucking dirt poor, then you treasure $1. And if all of a sudden you start making, let's say $50 grand a year, maybe you go out to the bar more.
Right.
And you just don't think of the $10 you're buying a hamburger, out at a bar.
Yeah.
You don't think of it the same
It's just
way.
a banana.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What could it cost,
So
$20?
It does scale up, and eventually you reach that point where you're making 27 fucking mil, and to you, it's completely arbitrary to go and buy a building. It's just it's a minor purchase to you. It all scales up in that regard.
Oh, absolutely. Everything goes with the flow of what you got going on.
Essentially,
So it's,
my problem is that you shouldn't be able, if we were doing it properly, you wouldn't be able to make that much money, or it would be distributed a little.
So I know at least there was something that I'm seeing here too when the Writers Guild initially went on strike because a lot of it has to deal with the new artificial intelligence type stuff, and
Chat GBT can just write scripts instead.
Right.
But that's also the same case with the actors because they've actually they clone the likeness and then they can put it onto anything, and so they're not getting paid for their own likeness. Now you can argue you're not actually acting when you're using your likeness. How much do you actually get for that? Those are good points.
Those are good points
to be because you're using technology to literally make me worthless.
Mm-hmm.
I want to counter that.
Okay.
Because when you set up a self-checkout at a convenience store, you're replacing someone else too. You're just not.
That's the larger point that I was going to make. Where the fuck were you when the self-checkouts were being put up? Where the fuck were you when
We're
they
all
were
being replaced?
Yeah, we're all
by
being
machines.
replaced.
Yeah.
So to have Fran Drescher over there pretend that she's a victim, you make millions of dollars, you cunt.
In fairness, she's not getting replaced because her likeness isn't worth anything. And I say that as a fan of The Nanny, but I don't need new episodes either.
No one does. No one needs new episodes of The Nanny. But
I'd like to know what happened in Niles.
You know what happened in Niles.
I have an idea, but I want to see it fleshed out on screen.
Wow, that's a
Herpagonosyphilades.
to have someone like her go up there and talk like that, I really don't care about the actors. I don't care about the writers too.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the people who are behind the scenes. I'm a producer, so I should. And they haven't done these late shows. They went off as soon as the writer strikes started to happen. They haven't done a Colbert. They haven't done
no
Fallon.
shit, okay.
They haven't done a Kimmel since. It's all been best of and stuff like that.
People write for Fallon?
And
He's not wrong.
and there are people. I have family that works in the business. They haven't worked since that.
Yeah.
You're fucking people over who edit, who produce, who fucking get the props, who work on the stage. These people need to pay their rent. And you're worried, you're threatening Bob Iger, you multi-millionaire piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're really going to fucking do that?
Yeah. And I'm sorry for my ignorance with this, but these people who are at the lower rungs of it, they're not able to work because the union's on strike, right?
They're not able to work because the unions are on strike, because the shows also go in like solidarity. The shows could do scab writers.
Yeah.
The shows could do something to keep it going.
So basically, so these people, they're just like, they're regular people. They're getting paid whatever. Let's just call it $50,000 a year. And they can't work because of this strike.
Yeah, because these shows go in like solidarity, like, oh, we're not going to do anything until the writer's strike is over because, without the writers, what are we to do? It's like, fair point, but you also have people that work behind the scenes that with the same thing. Yeah. That without them, you don't have a fucking show. Yeah. And you're going to pull this victim card bullshit. Fuck off.
Unfortunately,
Well, aren't they all lumped in together? Like the actors, the people behind, and that's what they're striking for as well? Or
I think the Screen Actors Guild jumped in a little after the fact.
Oh, they were after
the writers.
Yeah. It was Writers Guild first for probably, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks, maybe longer. I don't even know.
It makes sense. The bottom line is that if you don't have one part of this, then you can't do the job.
The thing is that
there's no way to produce.
It's never recognized. And I work at a job where I'm part of a union. I was even a union steward for 5 years. There's good in unions, there's bad in unions, and it's.
I've heard a lot of horror stories about unions as well.
Yeah, and I've seen it firsthand, absolutely. And it's someone always has to pay the price.
Yeah,
and with SAG-AFTRA, Writers Guild, all that shit going on, there are people that are unaffiliated, they're paying the price for this.
And they need to, that's the thing.
And typically they're the lower paid.
You could argue that in both directions too.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It's that these people who are at the bottom rung, if your union was working correctly, and by that I mean that it was fighting for your rights, exactly, and trying to get you better pay, then you would be able to wait out this strike. But presumably, something is obviously off because if you're not able, if you're living hand to mouth outside of your own personal, misfinance or whatever,
right?
Then that's because it's failed you in the past. Because I think back to you look at history in this country, and you had unions, like coal miners' unions and shit like that, where that really did protect people's rights. It really did. But the people at the head of that union, you'd be talking about much smaller
they're
groups.
Getting paid a lot. They're getting they're lining their pockets
now.
As well.
Now you've got unions now though, where the people at the top of it, you see with auto unions in particular.
Well, they get so bloated.
Yeah, you've got an auto union where it's the person at the top is not. He has no idea how. He's basically the same as the CEO of Ford. Where it's he's so disconnected from the worker that he doesn't recognize the actual struggle. So it's really easy to be oh, hey, we'll be on strike because you've got $10 million in your bank account, so we can just be on strike for forever.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, for the worker, that's not the case. And that's a failure of the system for sure. And it's a failure of the union as well. I think this is a big thing that turns people off of unions.
Oh, no, I understand
think in
that
essence
completely.
it's a good idea. But.
Does, now that they're on strike, are they eligible for unemployment?
I have no idea.
In some sort of sense? I'm sure they're not getting what they usually get paid, but
it's willful. So I actually don't know, though. I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you. There's a whole lot of different things that would go towards that.
Yeah.
What do they operate as? Contractors, independent contractors? Or do they operate?
I know Hollywood's a lot about
I think the actors kind of operate that way, but I don't know about the key grips.
I
that
have
back
no
end
idea.
kind of.
I think that my understanding of it is that you get hired for the job. Mm-hmm.
Well, they go to a company and you work for said company of.
But you're not always
but
employed because you figure that in the nature of entertainment, then you work during the movie, and then the movie stops, and then you've got time off.
There's a lot of free food there, though, from catering.
That's fair. I'm about that.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You ever walk onto a set? I stumbled upon one time. It was just I don't even know what it was for, but they had a tent set up with food, and I ate there.
So
Please, Dan, bring us back.
So to answer your question, most states do not allow workers on strike to get unemployment.
Okay, because it's willful.
It's willful. I guess there's some exceptions, like Massachusetts has an example, but I'm not going to get into that.
I figured it would go state by state, but because they're actors, so they live wherever the fuck they live, but they film and they film wherever the fuck they film. So
I will say that is on the one hand, though, I will say that is kind of bullshit because one of the things, at least in New Jersey, one of the things that you're allowed to say for unemployment is that the environment, basically the job, is not what I was told it would be. Which if you're on strike, is clearly what you're
what's
saying.
going on.
Yeah, you're
But,
clearly saying this job is not what I was
but
told.
how many of these people are like residents of New Jersey?
Well, yeah,
you know,
presumably
and
not
then
residents.
go to
That's fair,
California,
and also New
film or
Jersey is
whatever.
presumably more liberal than a lot of states.
Well,
you
that-
figure half of the states are going to be very against
because it would
unemployment,
change
and half of
depending
the
on
states
state.
are probably
so
overly in
it's,
favor.
It's like, how do you keep everything in line if everybody lives in a different state with different laws?
Yeah.
I'm just so curious of like what, because you're dealing with actors and writers and stuff like that.
I
Like
feel
my
bad for the
understanding
writers,
of like the union that I belong to is very like there's a written contract. It's like 500 pages long. There's fucking rules for everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I would be very curious, and obviously I wouldn't read the whole thing. But if somebody wants to put some cliff notes together online, I'd take a look at it.
I didn't mention this. So I started a new job. I have to go to the city every once in a while, and I'm seeing this as, you see New York strikes because I have this popped up on the monitor.
Yeah.
I saw some of these people picketing as I was walking to the office, and I was like, I don't think any one of these people picketing is either a writer or an actor.
I see the
They're just
naked cowboy.
representatives.
The naked cowboy. Kevin Bacon? Is that? I'm not going to read this whole thing. Give me the cliff notes of
Joe
this,
Pantaleone.
of this one paragraph article.
Are you?
Why is the naked cowboy on there?
Because he's, I guess, an actor.
Is he?
I don't know. He's a naked
Like
cowboy.
he's just a guy on the fucking street that.
But he's a naked
doesn't
cowboy.
put
He's
on
not just a
clothes.
guy. You're just a guy. The naked cowboy is the naked cowboy.
All right, so for the audience that can't see what we're talking about, we pulled this up on Wikipedia. It's, New York strikes. So we got SAG-AFTRA's New York strikes took place at Paramount's New York headquarters at 1515 Broadway and various offices of NBC Universal, including Rockefeller Center. Jason Sudeikis joined the NBC Universal picket line, stating that actors would strike for
As long as
it takes.
Because they can afford it.
And as did Joe Pantaleone. Is
No
that the
idea.
one? Yeah.
You know who he is. He's like a short.
Pantaleano. Pantaleano?
He's always like either a cop or a mobster. Like he's an Italian short guy. Like,
Okay.
akin to.
I guess if I saw his face.
Joe
I'm over
Pesci.
it.
Yeah, you'd see.
I don't care.
And as you guys said, the Naked Cowboy, which
Naked
is weird.
cowboy!
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Alex Edelman, don't know who that is.
Nope.
But,
Sarah Sherman,
Nope.
also don't know who that is. And meanwhile, at Paramount's headquarters, picket lines included Michael Schur and Kevin Bacon.
I've
I
heard
know
the
Kevin
name
Bacon.
Michael Schur, but
And
I
this is
can't
how we
place
tie.
him.
This is the tie-in to 6 Degrees with
Kevin Bacon. Well, it's just 1 degree. It's 1 degree now. He took. He was a
The
part
The
of
gap
this.
closes over time.
Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's weird, and like I said, it doesn't really. I don't really care. For me personally,
I don't care. Yeah.
It's like people are gonna get all like people are already butthurt because it's obviously productions are being shut down and stuff like that. So now you're gonna have to wait longer for your TV show that you love or whatever,
Or whatever movie.
right?
Well,
or movie,
like-
yeah.
That being said, because I saw that this strike has been going on, but a couple of films have done reshoots and still like doing reshoots. Like the film is essentially, I guess, complete, but they need little extra
clean it
bits.
up.
Yeah.
But they're doing reshoots, which I thought would be like,
I think-
you're on strike. Why are you allowed to do that? Even though it
I think you
falls
still have to
before?
finish old projects off.
You still
not
have
to
to do
breach
that.
contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
That makes sense.
I don't know. My general sentiment about it is that, I don't fucking give a shit about this. Fuck these people. Fuck the actors. Not fuck the writers. Like, they're presumably not getting paid enough for what they do. And all the people underneath the people who make all the money is the fucking actors. And obviously the owners of the companies and what have you.
Yeah,
but it's the same way as it is with every other industry in this country where the person at the top, the people at the top, the shareholders, are making all of the money and the people at the bottom aren't. It's just that if you are living in the United States of America and you're making millions of dollars a year, don't fucking protest because you got fucking nothing to talk about. And that's what it is. Like everybody else is fucking working for a living and you're getting paid very well for your time.
Moses?
I don't remember the exact story, but it was I think it was an actress from Orange is the New Black, and that kind of like she was she wasn't the lead. I don't remember the minutiae.
You're on your
of
own
this,
on this one. I got nothing to get.
But, she only got, I think, like 3 cents per, or it was something
residuals.
ridiculous.
Residuals,
Well, no,
yeah.
this is like for what her acting, I think it was aside from the residuals, but I might be wrong on that.
No.
But like she was getting paid like nothing for Orange is the New Black, which is only on Netflix. So it's like it's not like like it's mass produced.
These
but
companies
it's not
will rip you off if they can.
I forget
100%.
exactly who it was. It might have been the one that.
That's why
Crazy
you have
Eyes.
an agent. That's why you if you're not good with finances, especially if you're an actor, like you get
And
an
that's
agent.
fair too. It's that it does fall a bit on that person. But I mean, it's the same way as with anything else. I don't know. I don't like to see somebody get ripped off so that some fucking
Don't you run
CEO
into those-
who's already making millions can get like a little bit more.
Don't you run
because
into
it's
those
wasted
problems
money.
with like those same way like Mike Tyson and what the hell Don King,
Yeah.
like that kind
about
of.
that?
Explain a little further.
Hey, well, Don King's like ripping Mike Tyson off.
Yeah.
In the early, when Mike Tyson was super popular.
Yeah.
No, well, not that he's not now, but
Oh God, stop back.
Yeah, where are we going?
isn't that also what they're fighting for, or are they fighting against?
He's
their
not an
agents, or-
actor. Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson is
Mike
an
Tyson
actor.
is. I mean, yes, he is an actor, but
Mike
no.
Tyson
but
is an
not the
actor.
way that you're trying to convey it.
Well, aside from the boxing, he's also been in some.
Oh my
movies.
God, he's not an actor, and you goddamn know it.
So, real quick, I was trying to fact check what you were talking about with the Orange is the New Black. I'm
somebody,
going through it, but according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average pay for California actors in 2022 was $27.73. I would like to say, if you make that amount, first of all, California's got a high cost of living, so that's
Sure.
probably not great.
Yeah.
It's
But fuck off.
Yeah.
Seriously, fuck off.
It's low. It is low for there, I think,
Yes.
because California's super expensive.
It's super
but
expensive.
that's
Yeah.
taking into account. I would be interested to see. I'm bad at like this fucking math bullshit, but like median versus average kind of shit.
Yeah.
Because you've got people at the bottom rung who are extras and basically get paid minimum wage,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Practically
in
nothing,
California.
yeah.
And then you've got people who make millions
Of dollars.
Yeah.
And the people that we were hearing from make millions of dollars. Well, I mean, Fran Drescher doesn't do that anymore, but she's got a cushy union job.
But it's
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that's what.
well.
It's. I understand why you have these big name people because obviously no one's following the fucking what do you call it the extras. They don't have the social footprint that these people have. But also, like when I look at say Ron Perlman or any of these big name actors, and it's just like it just comes off as disingenuous because they live in a mansion, and it's like.
Well, I saw a white picket fence behind Ron Perlman, so it looks like a very quaint little place.
I'm sure it is.
So, going along with this, I would like to shift gears, but keep it in the same topic.
Yep.
One of the reasons that I'm kind of like, fuck off to you people, because you haven't made a good movie, a movie that's like generally considered to be like a top 100 movie of all time, in about like 20 years.
I would agree with that.
And a lot of the stuff you are making now, in terms of TV and in terms of movies, they're not art. They're propaganda. You're making stuff that's essentially like misandrist bullshit. Like the new Barbie movie has been accused of that. It's where it's incredibly anti-male. It's incredibly very feminist, very identitarian, things of that nature. You haven't actually made art. And then you have actors that are woke as can be,
right?
And they destroy the movie themselves if they can. And then you have someone like Peter Dinklage. I have to measure my words here because Peter Dinklage is a Rush fan. So
He's also from New Jersey.
That cuts deep, doesn't it?
yeah, it does cut deep.
And he used to be in a ska band.
And his,
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
that's awesome.
And I believe his brother Jonathan Dinklage did guest spots in the R40 tour to play the electric violin for the song "Losing It."
Is he a small person as well, or is it the brother?
What's that?
Is the brother a small person as well?
No, he is of a normal height. I guess that's what you would say.
I don't know the
Normie.
PC way to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so let's dive into this premise of Peter Dinklage costing small people. I guess it's little people, midgets. I don't know what the term is.
I just call them midgets.
Yeah, but Peter Dinklage, well-known actor, Game of Thrones. He had a spot in what was it, Elf?
Elf.
Yeah.
He's also been in other things. I'm not.
Oh, he was
He's been in a bunch of
X-Men.
stuff.
Yeah.
I just,
I've seen him in a lot of
Bolivar Trask in one of the X-Men.
So there are remakes of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and there's going to be a remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And because of what Peter Dinklage said here, Disney and I don't know who's making the Wonka movie.
I don't
they
know, yeah.
they reneged on casting little people. for those roles.
I saw the trailer for Willy Wonka, and it's Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, and you know what? I'm fine with that.
You know what's
But,
funny about it?
It isn't
though?
fair.
We're only steps away, and it's funny how history repeats. We really are like maybe I'm gonna put my fucking bet on this. We're 5 years away from where the jokes that we've seen in more like Tropic Thunder,
Sure.
where you just legitimately just have a white actor and you just CGI them black. You know? So you're doing like a retelling of Malcolm X,
that actor-
and it's just that you CGI the
So,
person.
so we're going back to the 1930s when you had to be in blackface.
It's
for that
fucking
role.
weird, you know? There's no reason to do
So-
that. Just cast midgets.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis's stint in Willow is kind of past its prime now.
Let me explain what Peter Dinklage said. He went
Please.
on the Mark Merrow podcast, I guess about a year ago. And he commented, let's find this one. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but then you're still making that fucking backward story about seven dwarves living in a cave together, which is an absurd, negative thought process in
Right.
processing that fucking movie.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
They were like, you know, the
had a
good
house.
guys.
Yeah.
They had a house. They took care
They
of
had a
her.
house, and
Yeah.
I wish I lived in a cave. That sounds awesome.
So let me punch up what these dwarves actually look like. I don't know. Have you seen this?
No,
I don't want to see it.
I also
Oh,
have
this is
a-
going to be first reacts.
I also have a question to Mark Marrow since you said it. And I know it's not a wrestling podcast. Is it the same?
What's that?
Mark Marrow?
No. What is
Is it the
did I
same
say-
Mark Marrow?
Did I say Mark Marrow?
Yes.
That's Mark
Maron's podcast?
Mark Maron
Oh,
is what I
okay.
said. It's right here.
I was like, why does Mark Marrow have a podcast?
Get your head out of the ring, Moses.
Mark Maron's WTF
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
All right.
So that
It's
was
not
my
Mark
bad.
Marrow's WWF
Yeah.
podcast.
So this,
Got it.
this is from DW, Peter Dinklage Smith with Snow White, and this is from January 29th, 2022.
Gotcha.
So let me punch this up real quick.
Please.
Why do you have Mark Marrow on the brain?
By the way, Fran Drescher.
Oh, well,
No,
fair.
Fran Drescher
Fair,
makes.
fair.
I looked this up, Dan. I'm on top of this shit too. $25 million is her net worth.
Really?
Yeah.
She still gets residuals from the nanny. I have to admit. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. She makes her folded money off the residuals.
I don't
from
see
that.
a whole lot of replays of UHF or This is Spinal Tap.
A little hard to come by.
Like Spinal Tap gets played quite often at my house, but that I don't know. If it, like it's because I have a DVD of it. That's a good movie.
He lost your laser.
It's got one of those ancient Divida players.
It goes to 11.
Yeah, this is oh, God. You know what's funny? Because I have thoughts, and I also really just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like I really just like I don't care what happens to these people because that's kind of like my sentiment about it. There's so many bigger problems in the world. There's like fucking immigrants who are like dying by the hundreds on boats trying to escape war-torn countries. You know where we fought wars or wherever's fought wars.
damn.
And then like regular people in this country fucking struggling. And wow, what is
What
that?
Those are
fuck is
those are the kids from Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
So I just pulled up the picture, and these are supposed to be the dwarves in Snow White and the Seven Dwarves remake. You can see that there is one little person, and there's everyone else is
They get
of
progressively
normal
larger.
height.
Shrunk
It's like you got a
down
bunch of escaped troubadours or something.
troubadours. Yeah. Wow. You don't hear that word every day. You do not.
It is the only way you could describe them. Though, is just troubadour.
Well, it's like you got the guy in the middle who kind of looks like a gypsy or a pirate.
That's
They all
Pirate, that's
look like
Pirate
gypsies
Steve from
and pirates.
Dodgeball.
yeah, and then you got the guy on the far left who looks like he's wearing a cardigan.
Yeah.
It's like what is happening here?
Honestly, this just looks to me like going to Asbury Park, and I hate it.
You're not wrong.
God damn it, you're not wrong.
Now that you bring that up, I have seen each one of them there.
Yeah.
Oh, and so we also have the Willy Wonka remake, and it has
Oh,
Hugh
God.
Grant in it.
Yeah.
I'm already
And
at that.
someone, and Moses, you'll be happy to hear, somebody sounded off on all of this. It is Hornswoggle of WWE fame.
Hornswoggle really set them back too, but the little people, I mean.
Moses, your time has come.
Hornswoggle, get the fuck out of here, man.
So from
Actors of my stature.
He's I'm sure he's done a lot of
rhymes.
acting in
I
the
love
same way that like Dionne Warwick was like most of the Ewoks and shit.
Yeah.
But like they even did that back then when they did the Star Wars. they hired a bunch of little people.
When they
I love
were
that.
the Star
I love that
Wars.
you said the Star Wars. Like
Yeah,
you're
the Star.
fucking 80. like this came out 40 years after you
Well,
were born.
I remember being born. Like, not the first one, but the rest.
Wow.
And,
Lots to take.
yeah, there's a lot. But, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, Moses, teach me about a hornswoggle. What's a hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle, in his WWE, I forget if they even changed over at that point. He was a leprechaun for
I do remember this.
for
first.
Fit Finley initially,
Wow.
who's a booker and also a wrestler. And he was a guffaw at the most. There was even talk of him being, there was a storyline going on of Vince McMahon had an illegitimate child somewhere. And it was said that Hornswoggle was going to be in it. I don't remember, because there was talk of a couple different people. And honestly, Hornswoggle was the best out of them. I think one of
confused.
like
I am
it was
so
It's really dragging on.
All right, so his real name.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
His real name is Dylan Postal, or
Okay.
I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And he says, Hugh Grant's Wonka role hurts actors of my stature. This is from the New York
funny.
Post.
Yeah. Spitting rhymes.
Yeah, it's weird that he got that out and the writers were already on strike.
We don't need him.
Actor and wrestler Dylan Postal slammed the upcoming Wonka movie for casting Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa rather than an actor with dwarfism. I guess that's what you call it. Dwarfism. Yeah.
It's okay.
We're not
Director
scientists.
Paul King used computer-generated imagery to get the visual effect of Grant's Oompa Loompa just right. But Postal, 37, argues CGI doesn't need to be used at all.
I agree with that.
Well, that being said, in the Johnny Depp Oompa Loompa movie, whatever
It's called Willy Wonka, and we are talking
But
about
they
it.
had some Indian guy just CGI'd over and over again, so they all look the
That's
same.
right. It was all the same actor.
Yeah, I don't remember the actor, but I don't know if he was a small person, but
Who knows?
I don't think so. And they just like reimposed
In fairness,
him
Indian
on
people
everyone.
are all small people, so
Oh, that's fair.
yeah.
How are the
Like you,
price,
buddy.
How's the weather up there?
Very fair. Like our prices. Yeah. This joke never gets old. We'll just keep telling it back and forth. Thanks, Family Guy.
Yeah, that wasn't Family Guy. That was
That was Family.
That is Family Guy.
No, I thought it was the Nick
No,
Frost
whatever
movie,
you thought was wrong, it is Family
where they're
Guy.
slashing prices.
Yes.
Yes,
You're
that-
just completing the joke. It's from Family Guy. How do you know the whole joke and you don't know where it came from?
I thought it was
You
from
have no
that,
visual.
I forget the name of the movie with Nick
The
Frost.
name of the movie is a show called Family Guy.
I don't believe it.
Speaking on Pierce Morgan Uncensored,
Oh, boy.
he said, so we're not only using CGI and spending extra money and funding for these movies when we could just cast dwarves in that role. Now you're taking at least one role away or multiple roles away for Oompa Loompa characters.
Wow.
People continue.
Imagine saying that with a straight face.
I mean, he could.
Yeah,
He
he's
could.
a great actor.
He's got the chops,
He's
man.
a great actor.
He could do that.
This is
Oh
what he
my.
looks like.
Is
that him?
That is
Oh,
him.
wow.
No woke 7 magical creatures.
Oh my fucking
That's a good blurb.
God.
He kind of looks like Bam
Holy
Margera if he was
shit.
sober.
I'm actually upset, I
Oh,
think.
my God.
I'm going to drink more.
That
This is all so
That was truly something else.
Let me get a
I loved
cigarette.
It. I loved
Somebody
it.
top off
Can
my
you
drink.
bring up the trailer for just because I've seen Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa in the trailer.
Let me-
just to show these two if you haven't seen it.
I've seen
I don't
it.
Because
want to
it's-
say it.
Let's do
It's
this
so-
real
it's
quick.
something.
Let's go into a little bit more of the Peter Dinklage Hornswoggle feud. This is from a while ago.
Oh my God.
Wait, the two of them were at odds?
Well, I mean,
Hornswoggle and
it-
Dinklage?
Dan, I got to pause you real
Yeah,
quick. The wording of this article
I mean,
is so insane. This is like the most conservative piece ever. I get that he's woke
Oh,
as
it's a
shit.
Daily Mail.
it's the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
So exclusive. Peter Dinklage just put 7 of us out of a job. Dwarf actors fury at Disney for canceling 7 dwarves from Snow White remake because the woke, multimillionaire Game of Thrones star said they were offensive.
Oh, so there's like...
They forgot the
he
last
was,
apostrophe, too.
He was like saying that, no, you shouldn't use it, and now he's saying you should.
Well, no, Peter Dinklage was pretty much saying that it's backwards to do that movie and to cast like dwarves. Like, oh, you're just making it, you're supposed to be progressive and you're doing that again.
But it's the 7 dwarves. How are you
Yeah.
going to be progressive about that? It's a goddamn fucking children's
This
story.
goes the route that of like anything when it goes into like that super progressive kind of stuff, it always ends up like doing its Ouroboros, like eating its own tail kind of situation.
It's bullshit. I will say this about the CGI thing, and this is some bullshit, but I will say that when you need to create a dragon for your movie
Or
and there's no
snake.
dragons, then I get you use CGI. There's no shortage of fucking midgets. Just fucking use the midgets. Just fucking pay the midgets, whatever.
Think of
you don't need to CGI everything to save a nickel. It's absurd.
Think of all the snakes that were put out of work when they CGI'd them into Hercules.
That was terrible. And I wish that I didn't put that on earlier, but I did. And now we don't need to talk
topical.
about it. It's not topical. It's terrible.
Oh, my
It's terrible.
Well,
and
we're
it's
talking about WWE, and The Rock was in it. You smell what I'm cooking over there, producer Dan? Or
goodness
host Dan? I
gracious.
forgot you got a promotion.
Oh, I mean, I'm still doing the producing. Anyway, so what Hornswoggle had to say is he was, essentially Peter Dinklage. He was in Game of Thrones in a little person role or whatever. He was an elf in a little person role. He had no problem cashing the check then.
Right.
But now when it's time for us to potentially cash the check, he's going to kick the ladder from.
Yeah, we're all just Goonies.
For me to understand this correctly, he's calling to portrayal of using actual dwarfs backwards?
He was essentially saying, look, well, we can go back to that article that was
Right.
Mark
I know,
Maron.
he's saying that we want to make sure that I read that right.
Yeah.
But they should be dwarves. They should be like dwarf actors. That's what
He was
said,
essentially saying that it's effectively offensive to do that, to use
Right, that's what I'm
use
getting.
them,
to use,
to use little people
little
for a
as
little
actors.
person role.
Yeah.
Like, how is that offensive? Isn't that what it is?
But it's essentially a person who's supposed to be progressive, a person that's supposed to be like, giving opportunities to other people because that's what you're supposed to do for, I guess, your people. And then all of a sudden, like once you got yours, you're out of here.
Right.
Like, I don't want to lose my spot.
So he's like fair weather and like
it's
he
just-
used it to get where he is and then dropped it immediately.
It's
Correct,
essentially
correct.
just being a hypocrite.
Yes. Yay, hypocrisy.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
Yeah, no, this is, but this is the way it always goes. The cause always eats itself because like everybody has different ideas of what their version of progressivism is and whatever their stupid ass cause, and it just and then it's all dumb. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's Hornswoggle right there.
I mean,
Wow, that's flexibility.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What are you really bending?
I don't know. I can't touch
barely
my
have
toes
joints.
to my chest. That's not a thing for me.
His feet are ginormous.
I'm not a fucking
really.
$100 hooker in Atlantic City.
I have to imagine that Hornswoggle has a severe hog.
A severe hog?
Look at the size of those shoes. Jesus Christ, they're like clown shoes.
Now,
A
please continue
severe
talking.
Hog.
I hope that your wife listens to this.
You know she doesn't. This is like D&D to her.
Producer
Like,
Dan, I really hope you're not looking up to see if Hornswoggle has a severe hog.
no, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's get to the bottom of that. A severe hug. Who says that? How old are you?
Oh my goodness.
Severe
I
Oh my God, I want to say that.
That's a band name.
Oh man,
And-
severe hug. It is a bad.
And I was also going to go with Gregorius.
Yeah. A
Gregorius?
Gregorius
Yes,
hug.
yes.
Oh my God, I want to say this to my girlfriend, but I also want to have sex with her one day, and I feel like that's a direct shutout.
Just bring a cat with you. You'll be all right.
Oh man. Yeah, no, this is all ridiculous.
So Moses, you asked to watch
Oh no.
the trailer,
The trailer, yes.
for Wonka.
Oh,
Who is playing Willy Wonka? Is something Timothy Charlemagne or something like that?
Past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft. You see,
Wonka.
I'm something of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker.
It's
So fry it up.
It's Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, that's what it
Whatever
is. Yeah.
Reverse it.
This is the movie that nobody ever needed.
Oh, so it's Warner Brothers making this movie.
Oh, so this is a... All right.
I'm making chocolate, of course. How do you like it?
wow, this is so not the original film.
No, this seems more like a Harry Potter kind of...
Yeah.
By the chocolate
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
without selling chocolate.
Is it like an origin story of his?
Yeah.
guess.
It's where
So is
Wonka
it a-
came from.
So it's not a remake.
No, it's
Oh
a
my God, I
prequel.
just want to point
It's a
out that
prequel
there's,
at best.
this is fucking what, like early 1900s in England, and there's a black cop.
Yes.
Well, there's also a black helper.
Let's gloss over that. That's a very inclusive culture.
They can't all be Irish.
Well, rest assured, it's from the director of Paddington, so it's going to be a quality movie.
All right. Did he do Babar as well?
I don't fucking know. I don't care. I'm saying that facetiously.
Wow. All
That
right.
is a hairstyle.
Honestly, like, I don't often get offended, but here we are.
This seems so unwarranted.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. Why do you have to make this? Because you're out of ideas. I guess that's why you make this.
Oh, God.
So he just gets weirder over time because I saw that Johnny Depp atrocity.
You could change her life, Mr. Wonka. Change all their lives.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
You know, Mr.
Just
White.
bring me to the money shot.
Yeah. Do you remember in the original Willy Wonka when a giraffe was lifted up by a bunch of balloons?
That
was my favorite scene.
That's how they got the idea for Up.
I loved that. Yeah.
This is gonna be the greatest chocolate shop.
Yeah, it is kind of very noticeable how much they are really like throwing the diversity in your face.
Oh
I like
my
that
God,
he keeps them in a glass jar.
Well, listen, early 1900s England, late 1800s England, very inclusive. This is a country that rejected slavery from the very beginning.
This is fucking horrendous. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And they always stood shoulder to shoulder with people of minority, as I like to call them. And I
But
think
they kept little people in jars.
well, yeah, because they're not people.
Well,
Well, that was Hugh Grant.
That was
he's
Hugh
not, he's
Grant.
not-
That
he's
was
not
Hugh
a person
Grant,
either.
And he probably should be kept in a jar.
but he's befuddlingly charming. But
I'm so charmingly befuddled. we gotta stop.
That was a Family Guy joke.
Yeah, that is a family
thank
guy.
God.
That one
We
is.
might need
Oh,
to,
so you have heard of it?
we might need to stop doing that. I don't think those guys are working. They're going to hit us up for money.
It's all going to hell. The entertainment industry is just
Yeah.
fucked.
The world sucks and soon we'll be dead.
Yeah.
And I'm all right with that.
I hope I get to see that Deadpool before it comes out, though.
Probably won't.
I don't know how I would
You're on
see it
borrowed
before it
time,
comes
Frank.
out, but
Borrowed time. You're something of a Oompa Loompa yourself, right?
oh,
What are you, like 4.5 feet tall?
I make diabetic chocolate. It's the reason you got shit all the time.
Wow.
You know,
it
suddenly
looks
a
like
lot
I
of
just
things
got
make sense.
I just
I'm
got
a-
foisted by my own petard.
I'm about to paint it a flex, and all those Amazon reviews.
I got nothing to say.
I've learned little.
I regret much.
I do know less than I did when I started this.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting dumber. That's for sure.
Well, because when you talk about stuff like this, you run into the little things where you agree with them striking because of the AI stuff. But then when they start trying to paint themselves as victims, or like we're gonna go to this guy's house and fuck some shit up, it's like you're not helping.
I just want to paint a real quick picture, if I may. Flash forward 10 years, right? And we will absolutely be having a conversation while watching an AI actor that does not exist in real life complaining about how they need more of a share of the residual. This is a thing that will happen. Mark my
We're
words.
gonna have an AI strike.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
And I will probably feel more sympathy for them than I do the writers and the
No, that's
actors.
I will be stroking a shotgun from my mountain reprieve.
That's where you're going wrong, Dan, because that's how they get, once they get us on their side, then the AI rises. And then we're in
Moses is an AI.
Yeah.
a
He's too dumb to
James
be an
Cameron.
Yeah,
James Cameron film.
It requires intelligence. That's the second word.
It's part
I
of,
guess
it's
it is
part
in
of the
the
word.
name.
Yeah.
When you said the James Cameron film, are you talking about AI, or are you just trying to make a Terminator reference there?
I think it's one and the same, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. All right. You never know. You
We've
never
been
know.
warned about this.
I mean, we have been warned about this, but AI in and of itself, I think we already talked about
No.
that way back in the day when we first started this podcast.
Notice how James Cameron has been killing people going to visit the Titanic. He doesn't want that happening.
Titanic.
The Titanic.
The Titanic.
What is it called?
Titanic trigger jabs.
Is that what it's called? The Titanic?
The Titanic.
It was the only one I could download, and there was a lot. There was a lot of boobs.
You mean you didn't download Italian Titanic?
No, I'm not putting that on my drive.
I'm fucking crying. This is ridiculous.
It just reminds me of that shitty pirate porn.
Yeah. Oh, my
that
God.
won
that
so
fucking-
many awards. I forgot what it was
I
called.
once dreamt my cock was a tri-masted Spanish galleon.
That was a great movie. Honestly, there's nothing about it that'll turn you on, despite the amount of pornography.
Dan, does this
I'm
affect
sorry.
porn?
Oh my
This
God.
strike?
Does this affect?
Oh, God damn it!
Because I need more pirate in my, or whatever that movie was called.
What?
The pirate porn movie.
It's just called Pirates.
Was it just
I
pirates?
think it was just pirates.
That's the name
some
of it,
bullshit
yeah.
like that.
I skipped through the
I
introductions.
think the porn industry is chugging along just fine.
They're
as
doing
it is.
all right. Yeah, there's one thing that always sells besides crack cocaine.
So I can't confirm if porn has been affected by this because it's not a legitimate search. Thank you for. Thank
lovely.
you for.
I thought the internet was only built for porn.
Yeah, but if you look it up, they're like, oh, these are the list of shows affected by the 2023 writer's strike. And I doubt it's going to be like, oh, yeah, Ass Rangers 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because that's a highly anticipated film.
Ass
Counting
Rangers
down the
3 was
days,
great.
huh?
Yeah. Ass Rangers 3 was really good.
And I need to know how, they need to complete that storyline because we were left off on a lot of
I didn't
cliffhangers.
know. I did not know which ass was going to get plowed next. And they
Turned
just
out to
kind
be all
of
of
they end that movie on a cliffhanger though, and I want it. You know, I want it.
All right, so
That's what they want.
before
Dan, hold on, we're talking.
Yeah, we're having an adult conversation.
I think we're going to have to jettison soon, please.
because this might get us age restricted anyway. I want to get your reaction to this before we go, though.
Okay.
So this is from Vulture, I guess it's called. What the writer's strike means for your fave shows.
Oh, boy.
So here are the genres that have been affected by the writer's strike. Late night shows we already discussed. Linear TV. Mm-hmm. We have daytime soaps.
Oh, great. God forbid.
That makes sense, though.
Streamers.
That's weird.
And reality TV.
Really?
So,
Reality TV?
of all of those things, do you miss any of them?
No, I don't.
I like watching cooking shows, so I guess that falls into the reality show.
Is that reality TV?
It's as
I don't get why
reality
you
as
need
anything.
writers for it.
I don't get why you would need writers either, though.
Like maybe it wouldn't be as good, but it's still just going to be bullshit. So.
Yeah, it's just assholes cooking. Like,
Yeah.
What are you really doing
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
Oh, so I'm like very much the last person that gives a fuck about like digital or whatever TV type media. So that's my bias.
Yeah, yeah, I could give zero fucks.
So I guess this is, I guess it says what means for your favorite show. So there's a little bit of writing in here. So I guess it doesn't impact reality TV. When you don't have writers, one thing you can depend on is reality. Reality TV prospered during the 2007, 2008 writer strike. And now network schedules are relying on them. Big Brother is premiering on CBS on August 2nd.
That's still on?
Yeah, they're all still on. So yeah, they're still going to be doing that. So, you know,
So at least we have that?
we are not spared from reality TV then.
As long as Chopped isn't taken off air, I'm fine.
I'm all about Love is Blind.
I know.
That's where it's at.
It's
I
not.
love your
It's really
genuine
not. It's
disdain.
not.
That's my favorite part of enjoying it.
It's like such a dumb show.
Oh, it's dumb as fuck. Yeah. But you just get like wasted and high, and then you just like watch it.
I know
and
what
think,
I do from
at
day
least
to day,
I'm not like this.
Mr. White, but
Thank you. Listen, when you're a billionaire like myself, you need to find ways to occupy your
So
time.
before we go, quick question. Did you make your millions by cooking meth? Mr.
Myself?
White? Mr. White.
I am not
writer's
at
strike, you can't make that
liberty.
joke.
I am not at liberty to say. What I can say about it is that I have cooked a little bit of meth in my time, and I can assure you it's of great quality. But I trying to stay above the radar these days.
You make a crystal blue persuasive argument.
Listen, when I gave that to you earlier, you told me that it would not be discussed on the podcast.
can I get a try? Because I'm starting to fade here.
You broke into my car.
I know what I did,
And
but I'm
you
asking if I
shattered
can-
the window. The door was unlocked. There was no reason to do this.
I don't
you
use
shattered
handles.
the window.
I don't use handles.
And you somehow managed to utilize more than half a pound of methamphetamine.
Well, it was a long night last night, so
This was today.
Yeah, well,
this
that's-
was today, sir.
because last night was so
This
long.
was
I
less
was-
than an hour ago.
I think we're going to save this for whatever happens next and probably get our way out of here.
Sounds like you have more in that car.
This can air on YouTube.
Gentlemen.
I mean, hopefully it can air on YouTube. Because that would be really nice if people listened all the way to this part on YouTube anyway. It would really help our average.
Yeah.
That way we can actually get on the algorithm. So help us out by watching us on YouTube and on Rumble. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, subscribe to this podcast everywhere that you get your podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify. You can also follow us on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you enjoyed this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter at loudanddrunk.locals.com and patreon.com/loudanddrunk. Moses, do you have any closing thoughts?
I don't have a single thought in my head after this.
Good. Because then that way we don't have to really corral you after that. Justin, sir, do you have any closing thoughts?
It's annoying, and I don't care.
I mean, that's pretty much the consensus with everybody right now. Mr. White.
Get rich or die trying.
Son of a bitch.
I'll give you 50 cents for that.
So,
Sold.
So, for Moses, Justin, Mr. White, I am Dan, the host and producer, the guide, whatever the hell you want to call me. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, this is Loud and Drunk.
I think I'll call you Sherpa Dan now.
Yeah,
Wow.
the Sherpa of shenanigans.
The Sherpa of shenanigans. I love it.
We don't need writers.
Yeah, because I'm the one who writes all this stuff.
Are you allowed to be doing this still with this strike?
I'm not in the union.
Oh, good. We don't have to pay him.